Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm William.
This is the podcast where we talk about all things ttrpg.
And today we're going over character creation in Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shout out to
Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeoncast.
Hey, Brian.
Hey Will,
How you doing today?
I'm ready to find the path.
Indeed. We're going to find a path to a brand new character today because we're going to build one.
Lead me, Path Daddy.
I will do my best. So before we actually build the character, I am going to go over the step-by-step process that any player who's getting into this system has to go through to build their character. And it is, I feel, a very satisfying and intuitive process.
Yeah, I can agree with that, having done it one time.
You have done it one time, yeah. And that was a conversion character as well.
Yeah.
You were converting from 5e to Pathfinder
Which
2nd
was
edition.
pretty seamless, I would say. If you
Yeah.
want to convert your 5e game to a Pathfinder game, it's not that hard.
No, I would say it's definitely not. But any questions before we just dive into creating a character and how you go about it?
Is the board springy enough to do like a quadruple axle? backhand?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it
Yeah,
then.
let's do
We'll
it.
dive right in.
All right. So one of the cool things about building a character in Pathfinder is they have this really cool catchphrase and they call it the ABCs of building a character. And it's because like the three major components that you're going to utilize when building your character are A, ancestry, B, background, and C, class.
Okay.
And that is the order in which the core rule book, which I believe we have up there, suggests that you do it.
Yeah, for those of you that can see it on YouTube.
Yes, I always see
Well, we are remonetized. Just putting
Yes.
that out there because people have been asking, and
Yes.
yeah, we got
it
remonetized
just
on YouTube,
happened recently. It's
Yes.
been great.
and we'll continue to say it on the show for a little bit, probably.
Yeah, but we'll continue to remind people because people are going to have seen past episodes where we weren't.
Right, like a fucking year's worth of them.
Almost a year's worth, yeah. All right, so let's get back to Pathfinder 2nd Edition building a character, starting with ancestry. So the first thing you got to do is pick an ancestry.
Okay.
What is an ancestry, you might ask? Well, it's the equivalent of D&D's race. So in Pathfinder, they call races ancestries. They're going to be, your elves, your humans, your goblins, et cetera, et cetera. So ancestries come in common, uncommon, and rare categories, with the main thing of note being that the list of common ancestries is shorter than I think a lot of D&D or even Pathfinder 1st Edition fans will be used to. So there are only 6 ancestries in the game.
Okay.
But that's actually it. There's only 6 ancestries in the core rulebook. There are some other ancestries in the game, but there's only 6 in the core rulebook, and they are elf, dwarf, gnome, goblin, human, and halfling.
Okay, so basically the most basic of the classes,
Yes,
as
yes.
we would understand it from D&D's perspective.
Yes, these are the 6 ancestries offered in the core rulebooks. Now, this may seem rather scarce. You'll probably notice immediately that the half-elf and half-orc are, quote-unquote, missing.
Sure.
If you are a D&D 5e vet, you will probably note the missing tiefling and dragonborn or equivalent.
Yeah.
These do still very much exist in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but have been changed to what are called heritages. So heritages are the equivalent of subraces from D&D 5e. Specifically, half-elf and half-orc are heritages of the human ancestry,
Okay.
and you can choose these in the core rules book.
Okay, so you can't. Can you half elf with like elf and some other race? Is it just human based off of this?
For the half-elf and half-orc specifically, it's tied to the human ancestry here.
Okay.
So they don't really have that option. At least I didn't see that option. I'm sure there's probably a way.
I see.
So one of the cool things about tieflings and Aasimar and other traditionally planar touched races is that they have not only been made into heritages, but they are specifically heritages of any ancestry. All the ancestries have access to them.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So you can be an elf with a tiefling heritage or a dwarf with an Aasimar heritage.
Interesting.
Yeah, so not only does this make a ton more sense lore-wise, but it also gives a unique way to add a variety of flavor to your character that can be reflected mechanically, since as you level, you can take feats related to your ancestry and your heritage.
Yeah, an elven Aasimar that fell from the heavens or whatever is going to be
Sure, yeah.
thing.
It could be a thing, but traditionally, like tieflings, right? It means that someone in your ancestry cavorted with
Satan?
a fiend of some sort, and now it's in your bloodline, right? But traditionally, that's always been human for some reason. But it makes sense. That why would a fiend care? You know what I mean? Why would it only do that with humans? You know.
Well, that's how I feel about the like half elf, half orc sort of thing. Like why half human only? Like
I think
that?
actually now that I think about it, I think there is an option where you can access those two heritages, no matter your ancestry.
That would be cool.
I think
to
it's an
have that
optional
freedom.
rule. Yeah.
I was always a gripe in 5e.
We'll take a look
me.
at the Path Builder character creator when we get to it in the second half of the
Sure.
episode, because now I'm starting to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ancestry you choose will give your character what are called ability boosts.
Mm-hmm.
So an ability boost is an increase of 2 to a specific ability score: strength, dex, con. Most ancestries get 3 ability boosts, 2 to specific ability scores, and 1 free one that you can apply as you wish. So many ancestries also have a thing called an ability flaw. An ability flaw is a -2 to a specific ability score. This is a remnant of a more old school gaming mindset where elves have bad constitutions and halflings get a strength penalty.
Okay.
What's cool though is if you, like me, are not the biggest fan of the ability flaw, you can use what's called the alternate rule set, where regardless of your ancestry, you just get 2 free ability boosts.
And no flaws. Okay.
So the trade-off is, like, doing it the base way, you get 3 boosts and 1 flaw, and this way you just get 2 boosts and no flaws, which is how humans work. So it's pretty balanced.
Okay, so you could choose either one.
You could choose either one.
I sort of like the idea of like implementing flaw into my characters anyway. So
I just like the idea of having the option, you know,
Yeah.
because maybe you are playing in an old school style world where these things are generally true. And maybe you're not, because there's a billion home brews and everyone runs their game different. So having the options, I think, is just a good thing. So that's the basics on ancestry. You will get some minor features, and I mean very minor. Like your ancestry might get dark vision, because this ain't 5e.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets it.
Dark vision is actually special.
Yeah, and there's also a thing called low light vision, which is something I've professed that 5e should have since day one. There should have been low light and dark vision. But anyways, I digress.
Like 4e.
Like 4e or 3rd edition. But the main thing that you're going to get from your ancestry, you are actually going to pick after all this stuff, because at level 1 you get an ancestry feat and a class feat. And so basically the part of you that is very elfy in particular is going to be whatever you choose off this list.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next up though, backgrounds. So backgrounds in Pathfinder 2nd Edition are very similar to 5e D&D, but slightly more robust in what they provide for the character.
Okay.
So firstly, they always provide 2 more ability boosts for your character. Usually one that comes with the background and 1 free one that you can apply as you will. As an example, the Bookkeeper background gives you a boost in either intelligence or wisdom, and then a free boost in ability of your choice.
Okay.
Next, most backgrounds come with 1 or more training proficiencies in a skill. For example, the Bookkeeper background gives you training in the Society skill, an intelligence-based skill, that dictates how much you know about different societal customs, etiquette, etc. And training in what is a lore skill called Accounting. So, lores are really interesting.
Accounting, huh?
Yeah, accounting. So, how do I explain lore? So, there are you have your basic knowledge skills that you would have in like a D&D 5e, right? You have Arcana, you have Nature, you have Religion, you have a few other ones. You have a Society, which we just talked about. But then, like, your character, because of certain things, might have particular niche knowledge on a very like select subject. In this case, accounting.
Okay.
When that happens, it's called a lore skill training, right? And you remember, I think we were going over the cipher system. And in the cipher system, the way they do skills is like there's no set list of skills. You just kind of like come up with, oh, my guy's really good at jumping, so he's got the jumping skill, right?
Right, yeah.
Lore skills in Pathfinder 2nd Edition are like that. It's like you can make it up depending on what you've chosen, but there's a lot of pre-built ones, like in this case, accounting.
I see.
So it's very niche and not necessarily going to come up, but if it comes up, you're going to be really good at it.
Okay, great.
So next up, finally, backgrounds often give access to an automatic feat of some sort. So the Bookkeeper, which we've been using as an example, gives a character the Eyes for Numbers skill feat. So I'm going to go ahead and read that feat for you.
Okay.
So Eyes for Numbers. This is a feat that actually takes an action to use. So it only takes 1 action. You've learned to subitize, quickly estimating the number of items in a group with relative accuracy at only a glance. You immediately learn the number of visually similar items in a group you can see, such as coins, books, or people, rounded to the first digit in the total number. For example, you could look at a case of potion vials and learn that it held about 30 vials, but you wouldn't know that it was exactly 33 vials.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. How many different types of potions there were, or how many of which type. Similarly, you could look at a pile of 2,805 coins and know that there are about 3,000 coins in all. You could use this ability only on items that could typically be counted, so you can't use it on grains of sand or stars in the sky.
Yeah, I got you there.
Yeah, so it's like a cool free thing that you can do.
Yeah, I think that can be definitely useful.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
And then there's a last bit of it. In addition, when you attempt to decipher writing, which is an action that you can take, that is primarily numerical or mathematical, you get a +2 circumstance bonus to your check.
Okay.
So you're good at numbers. You
Cool.
Bookkeeper should really be number keeper because you're really good at numbers.
There's 50 people in this crowd. I'm going to fireball them.
So that's backgrounds. Any questions about backgrounds?
No.
Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
All right, next up, we're going to choose a class.
All right.
So classes, of course, are the same thing for Pathfinder 2nd Edition as for D&D 5e, and there are 22 of them. Many of them will be very familiar: fighter, druid, wizard, sorcerer, rogue, monk, ranger, cleric, barbarian, and bard. But then there are a ton of others: alchemist, champion, gunslinger, oracle, witch, magus, summoner, thaumaturge, and more.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's quite a
very Final Fantasy summoner.
Yeah. Oh, the summoner class is actually really cool. We'll do an episode on it.
Okay.
The initial choice of class not only defines what kind of character you're going to play, but it gives you initial HP calculations, your initial armor, weapon, and save proficiencies, and it gives you an ability boost. For example, the wizard class in Pathfinder 2nd Edition gives the player a boost to intelligence.
Cool.
So at this point of your character creation process, you've received 5 character boosts, right? And you put all these on, and it's going to start really forming a picture of what your character's ability scores look like, but we're not done yet because now it's free boosting time.
It's time to get a free boost.
gotta
Hit the
do-
NOS.
Yeah, time to hit the
Let's
free
drive,
booster
baby.
button. So all characters, regardless of all their other choices, get 4 free ability boosts that they can apply to their ability scores on top of whatever they're provided for from their ancestry, background, and class. You must, however, apply each of these boosts to a different ability score, so you can't double stack them.
Okay.
So so at this point, after you've chosen your A, Bs, and Cs, you could apply 4 boosts across your 6 ability scores, just +2, +2, +2, +2, and that's your final level 1 ability scores. What you will end up with more than likely is a spread of something like 16, 16, 14, 12, 10, 10.
Okay.
Or 18, 14, 14, 12, 10. Or, that'll be there's some variations, but it's going to be somewhere in that wheelhouse.
With 20 as the cap, like D&D?
I don't believe 20 is the cap.
Okay.
Which, again, I believe 5th edition is the first edition that had the idea of a cap. Because, God knows, 4th edition, you could get up to like 30 something. It was crazy.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this one, it can get high because I think I built a test character up to like level 10 and I got like a 22 and a 23 and something.
I see. All right.
I do know that ability boosts start counting for less at 18. I think from then on, ability boosts only count for 1. I think that's right. I'm not sure.
Kind of adjust the scaling.
Yeah,
in that way.
it starts to scale down a little bit. Yeah.
I see.
So next up, after you've applied all your boosts and you have your ability scores, next up you're going to choose your skills, just like D&D 5e. So you gain skills based on the class you chose, your background, and then based on your intelligence modifier plus a number of skills your class lets you add to your intelligence modifier.
Okay.
So this is something that existed in 3rd edition of D&D, where the number of skills you had was int based. Also, languages, I think it's the same in this game, where the number of languages is tied to your intelligence score.
That's awesome. Okay, I like that a lot.
Yeah. I think we talked about it many times across the Dungeoncast where we're like, doesn't it just feel like everyone has like 7 languages?
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the Europeans tell us that we're very American in our point of view. And they're not wrong because like most people here are at most bilingual, like most people that I meet.
Yeah.
So to me, it just did seem unusual. But apparently in Europe, it's very not unusual
Because
to be tri or quadlingual.
the idea is that you're around so many cultures in the D&D realm that you're going to pick up languages.
Yeah, but still 7 or 8 languages seems crazy to me.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot by any standard.
By any
I
standard.
think.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
We were right.
Right. But in this game and in Pathfinder 1st edition and 3rd edition, it was always tied to your intelligence level. So same with skills in this game. So for the disparity is not just with intelligence, it's also with class. So if you're a fighter, you get a number of skills equal to 3 plus your intelligence mod, which if you're a fighter, it's probably 0 or even worse, -1. So it's probably just 3 skills. If you are a rogue, you get 7 plus your intelligence mod.
I see.
So even if you do have a 0, you get 7. And if you decide to be like a mastermind style rogue, yeah, you might get 9 skills on top of whatever your background gave you.
That's pretty good.
So
I love the way skills work in Pathfinder. I think it's a better system.
Yes, it's pretty cool. All right. So next up, we choose a heritage. This is where we're going to, okay, you're an elf, but what kind of elf are you?
Right.
Well, let's talk about it. So the heritages available to you are based directly on your ancestry. For example, the elf ancestry gets access to the ancient elf, Arctic elf, cavern elf, desert elf, seer elf, whisper elf, and woodland elf heritages. They also have access to the planar touch heritages that we spoke about earlier, like tiefling, Aasimar. They have a lot of the genie ones, which are named a little bit differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
This seems tidier than 5e's approach.
It's
which
tidier,
is like,
yeah.
Let's just make a bajillion different kinds of elves and call them different things and have them be weird.
Yes. There was a lot of forethought in designing this. Excuse me. So your heritage usually gives a small feature as well as access to ancestry feats related to that heritage. And that really is the main thing. So like Arctic Elf, right? If you choose that, I just happen to remember that one. It gives you a certain level of cold resistance.
Cool.
And that's the only thing you get from it. But what you do get is you get access to not just elf feats, but Arctic Elf feats.
I mean, along with the baggage of like my character is an Arctic elf because X or Y, like background stuff that you write in.
Right, exactly, yeah. I'm talking mechanically speaking
Right.
here. And so you might choose Arctic Elf, and you might choose like that's the last Arctic Elf thing that you're ever going to do.
Yeah,
all your other ancestry feats you're gonna direct elsewhere, probably just in regular elf stuff or general elf stuff, I should say. Or you could go the opposite direction. I'm like, I'm gonna take every Arctic Elf specific feat I can to be as Arctic Elfy as possible.
I shit ice cubes.
exactly right.
It's so cold in my butt.
God damn it. So yeah, I think that more than anything is one of the coolest things about character creation in Pathfinder 2nd edition is like you can just pick a lane and just go hard as fuck into that lane. I think that's super cool. But anyways, let's move on to class features and level 1 feats.
I love ice water. Where did you get ice cubes, buddy? Where'd you find those?
Stop asking questions.
Don't worry about it. This is what I do. Cold drinks are what I am.
All right. So class features and level 1 feats. So the last choices that you have to make when creating your character depend heavily on your class of choice. That being said, all characters get to choose at least a level 1 ancestry feat, at the very least.
Okay.
After that, you may have to pick from some class feature options, a level 1 class feat, and of course spells if you're a spellcasting class, which a lot of them are.
Right.
This again varies. For example, a fighter gets to choose a level 1 class feat and then automatically also gets the shield block feat, while the wizard must choose an arcane school, an arcane thesis, and then spells for their spellbook, as well as automatically getting the arcane bond and drain bond item features.
Okay.
So like it's like they all feel very balanced, but yeah, what you get at level 1, you might have more choices than other classes depending on what you choose.
All right, that's pretty cool. Yeah. If you want to be a wizard, you're gonna read more. Straight up.
In
every game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Any questions about character creation before we crack open the book and give this a shot?
Let's crack open an ice cold character creation.
Let's do it.
After the short rest.
After the short rest.
We've returned.
Indeed we have.
We are fucking back.
Indeed we are.
Yes.
We
back on
are.
the path.
We are back on the path. I have in front of me the pathbuilder2e.com website where we can build our characters here for free. If you guys are interested in building Pathfinder characters, I would highly recommend this website. We are going to build a character, and we decided to do some randomness about it, right?
Yeah, because Will was like, what kind of character do you want to build, Brian? I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. Let's let the dice
sound so
decide.
enthused.
I want to roll. No, I'm excited to build the character, but like the just my mood today, like
the creative juices aren't flowing. Maybe
not for this, because we did a 5e conversion for my last 5e character that I made.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it won't be the last 5e character I made.
Yeah.
But it converted well over to Pathfinder, and that was a bard. And I want to stick away from the casting, I think, because it's a lot. It's a lot to go over spells.
Well, if we're rolling, you're gonna have a hard time avoiding the casting. But
that's what I mean. Yeah,
we'll simplify it as best we can.
Yeah, we'll just take what the die gives us, though.
Yes. Okay.
I think
so let's start with ancestry.
Okay.
For this, we only need to do 6. All right, guys. So we are sticking to the core rules book options, just for simplicity's sake. Plus, I like the idea of like, if somebody listening to the show decides they want to just pick up the Core's rule book and start playing, like let's show them something that could be easily made out of the book.
Totally.
So give me a D6.
A D6 you can have.
And the ancestry of your character is
5.
We're building a halfling.
All right.
All right, we are building a halfling.
Excited
I'm selecting halfling. As a halfling, you are size small. You get 6 hit points at level 1. Your speed is 25 feet. So let's make a decision here. Are we going to do the standard ability boosts where we get 3 boosts and a flaw? Or do we want to just do the 2 boosts, no flaw?
Let's stick with the regular rule before we vary the rule.
You got it. So you're going to get a boost to dex, to wisdom, and then a free boost of your choice, and you're going to get a flaw to strength.
Okay.
Okay, and then...
It's like when you get smoothies that juice it up. They're like, do you want a free wheatgrass booster?
Yeah, exactly. And then languages, common and halfling, and then additional languages based off your intelligence level, which we will get to. Save to local folder. Okay. Next, we're going to do class, because there's so many backgrounds, we won't be able to roll on them, so we decided we'd do class and ancestry, and then we'll choose a background.
Okay.
So we're going to, again, core classes only. Give me a D12.
A D12. This time I'll roll a D12 and not a D20 like I did last time you asked me to roll.
Yeah, that's true.
I got a 10.
10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How cliche of us, it is a halfling rogue.
Yay! I was gonna say we should make somebody nasty.
Yeah, oh yeah, this guy's nasty. Or lady. Key ability, dex or other. So the other's probably strength, but we'll probably go with dex here.
We'll probably go with dex.
Hit points, you get 8 plus your con mod. So you would take the 6 from halfling, the 8 from this, and then add your con mod. That'll be your level 1 HP.
Nice, okay.
So what is a base 14, and then if we have a con of 1, so 15 HP, probably somewhere in there. We'll see.
Cool, sounds good to me.
We are automatically expert in perception. So that's really good for a couple of reasons. Number one, obviously perception is very useful.
Yeah.
Expert is above trained, so we're automatically at level 1 starting off better at this than probably any other character in the party. And number 3 is perception is what is used in Pathfinder 2nd Edition for initiative rolls. So
interesting.
This really adds up. This is
okay.
Great. You are trained in fortitude saves, but you're expert in reflex and will saves. So again, the expertise-ness is nice. You get the stealth skill training no matter what. And then trained in 1 or more skills determined by your rogue's racket, which is something we're going to choose in a minute here. And then you're also trained in a number of additional skills equal to 7 plus your intelligence point. You're probably trained in the whole damn skill tree at this point. But we'll find out.
I mean, that's how rogues should be.
Yeah,
should be skill.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be trained in simple weapons, but then also rapier, sap. I'm not sure what that is. Short bow and short sword. You're also trained in unarmed attacks.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, trained in light armor, trained in unarmored defense, and trained in rogue class DC, which all classes are going to be trained in their own DC.
I'd probably know like jujitsu or something.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out. All right, so let's do heritage.
I know.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 halfling heritages. Give me a D6.
All right. Another fucking 5.
We're a twilight halfling.
Okay.
Your ancestors performed many secret acts under the concealing cover of dusk, whether for good or ill, and over time they developed the ability to see in twilight beyond even the usual keen sight of halflings. You gain low light vision.
I'm the anti-flashbang. This is like the opposite of Jake's character in Flashbang and the Surgeon.
Yeah, cool.
Flashbang.
Wait, what are we gonna name this person? What's the opposite of flashbang?
Dim thud.
Dim thud. No, because what's the opposite of bang? Like a silence, right? Dim.
Celibacy.
Okay, we're moving on. All right, so here's Twilight Halfling. All right, now we got to choose a background. Now, give me a background or an idea of a background, and let's see if we can find it, because there's literally like 200 of these things.
What's like the nasty one? Is there a nasty one that's like if you
Criminal?
looked at the names, could you find a nasty one?
There's criminal.
Let's put criminal right here and see
Okay,
if we can
there's
find another
cursed. There is a false medium, so like you pretend to be a medium.
one. You're
That's
a fake psychic.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Gambler, gladiator, grave robber.
Ooh, let's go with that.
I like
That seems
grave robber.
nasty.
So resurrectionist, body snatcher, no matter what you're called, you know where the bodies are buried and how many coins they'll fetch when dug up.
Nice.
Adventure comes naturally to you. In your mind, dungeons are just oversized tombs, as does returning home with your loot undetected. Choose 2 ability boosts. One must be strength or dex. We'll probably go with dex. And one's free. You're trained in stealth, which we get from our class, so they'll just give us a free training.
Yeah,
And underworld lore skill. So
that's cool.
yeah, you gain the experienced smuggler skill feat. So we're gonna open that one up. Experienced smuggler. Train skill. You often smuggle things past the authorities. When the GM rolls your stealth check to see if a passive observer notices a small item you've concealed, the GM uses a number rolled or 10, whichever is higher, as a result of your die roll, adding it to your stealth modifier. So basically, this is you get to take 10 on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when the GM rolls. Why? I say I gotta get more familiar with the rules. If you're a master in stealth, the GM uses a number rolled or 15, and legendary stealth, you just auto succeed at hiding a small concealed item from passive observers. So you're really good at smuggling stuff.
I'm into it.
All right. You also get sneak attack, which is as a rogue. When your enemy can't properly defend itself, you take advantage to deal extra damage. If you strike a creature that has a flat-footed condition with an agile or finesse melee weapon, an agile or finesse unarmed attack, a ranged weapon attack, or a ranged unarmed attack, you deal an extra 1d6 of precision damage.
Cool.
For a ranged attack that with a thrown melee weapon. That weapon also must be agile or finesse. Same concept.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get back to choosing things. So we get to choose what's called our rogue's racket, which is like our subclass.
Yeah,
So,
it's like what they get up to.
5.
Like
Now
what they specialize in.
yeah, exactly. Now there's 5. Did you want to roll for this?
Yeah, let's roll for
Okay,
it.
so we'll roll a d6, and a 6 is a reroll.
Okay. 2.
Mastermind racket. Where others might use sleight of hand or silver tongue to achieve their objectives, you rely on your intellect to craft intricate schemes. You likely view your operations as a chess game, always planning 10 steps ahead, where others might plan 3. You might be a detective determined to solve crimes, or a spy master in service of a powerful family or nation. If you operate outside of the law, I think this person does, you might be an aspiring crime lord or information broker, excellent in directing others towards suitable jobs. If you successfully identify a creature using recall knowledge, that creature is flat-footed against your attacks until the start of your next turn. If you critically succeed, it's flat-footed against your attacks for 1 minute. That's great because your sneak attack procs off that. You're trained in society, and one of the following skills are your choice: Arcana, Nature, Occultism, or Religion. You can choose Intelligence as your key ability score for those, even though I think Nature might be Nature, Religion, or Wisdom. I think maybe.
Okay, they're in 5e.
Yeah, they're in 5e. All right.
They're intelligence in 5e. But occultism was what again? Can you remind me? It had a
Occultism
special
is
thing.
it's like the dark side of religion. You understanding like the cults and demon lords and esoteric lore,
Right, okay.
and all that stuff. Okay, so let's do the ability boosts. I take it you want. Oh, okay, so from starting with Halfling, you get Dex, Wisdom, and minus Strength, and then a free one. What did you want your free one to be in? If you choose Strength, it negates your flaw and just flats it out to a 0.
No, we'll keep strength as the flaw. We'll go with dex.
Well, you already have Dex and Wisdom, so you have to choose basically Con, Intelligence, or Charisma.
Okay, then let's take the strength then, because
Okay.
grave robbing is a physical activity.
Sure. All right. So you get to choose either for your background. You get either Strength or Dex. So I imagine you want Dex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get another free one. It could be any of the 6.
Let's put intelligence.
Okay. And then your class boost. Oh, wow. You get to most classes only get to choose between 2, but you get to choose between strength, Dex, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma.
Dex.
Okay, Dex it is. All right, now we get 4 free ones. So which 4 of the 6 scores do you want another boost to?
Let's go. I want to lean into the intelligence and Dex for sure.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I guess just put 1 in strength and then 1 in wisdom.
Okay. So we are looking at a final ability scores of a 12 in strength, a 10 in con, a 14 in wisdom, an 18 in dexterity, a 14 in intelligence, and a 10 in charisma.
Cool. Okay.
Very cool. All right, skill trainings. Dear God, you get 9. You have 3 automatically, and you get 9. Oh, and you get an extra 2. So you're gonna get 11 plus 3, so you get 14 skills. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
How do you want to do this? You want me to just read them down?
Yeah.
Acrobatics.
What am I doing exactly right here?
You're becoming trained in a skill.
And I get to pick how many?
14.
I have to pick 14 of these. Like how many skills total?
I think there's probably only 15. Let me see here. 1,
Let's
2,
just pick
3,
one that we
4,
think won't
5,
make
6,
sense.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so there's 13 available skills to you, and you get 11 choices. So which 2? Let's start there. Which 2 skills do you not want?
That's the better way to go here, right?
Okay. So here, I'll go ahead and turn that to you.
Okay. How about
That's hilarious. It's because your intelligence is high too, on top of being a rogue. That's why.
Yeah, religion. We'll take that one out.
Okay, no religion.
I'm not paying attention to that kind of stuff because I'm
Same with
fucking
occultism
robbing
then?
graves. No, I think occultism is probably something I should be aware of in case I'm like, robbing a cursed grave.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
So no religion and no
Nature.
No, I feel like nature's good because I'm like having to dig shit up.
Okay.
I want to know what kind of soil, what kind of class of soil we're dealing with.
Crafting.
Let's leave off. Let's leave off the. Wow.
Performance.
Yeah, let's leave that
All
one
right,
off.
so no performance and no religion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click everything else because this is hilarious and tell you what you're trained in.
You guys want to see me rob this grave? It's
Okay.
going to be great. It's going to be
So
quite the show.
Finish that section. Acrobatics. Finish that. Okay.
I want to name myself something stupid like Robert Greaves.
Definitely. You definitely can be. Okay.
Almost sounds like Rob Graves.
So you are trained in acrobatics, arcana, crafting, deception, diplomacy, intimidation, underworld lore, medicine, nature, occultism, society, stealth, survival, and thievery.
Yeah, my teacher was like, I'm going to teach you how to do like 10 things today. Remember this always.
All right, we are almost done. We only got a few more things to choose from. So the first is an ancestry feat.
Okay.
So let me count. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14 options at level 1.
Okay.
Did you want to roll for it or did you want to pick?
I want to roll for it.
All right, give me a D20 and then we will re-roll anything above a 14.
All right, sounds good. We've yielded an 18 there, so 2.
2, distracting shadows.
Okay.
You have learned to remain hidden by using larger folk as a distraction to avoid drawing attention to yourself. You can use creatures that are at least one size larger than you, medium or larger, as cover for the hide and sneak action. So you still can't use such creatures as cover for other uses, such as the take cover action.
Perfect.
That's fucking cool.
Useful.
Indeed. All right, class feat. All right, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these.
Okay. D6 it is. 2.
You like 2s. Overextending feint. So the prerequisite for this is that you're trained in deception. Guess what you are?
Awesome.
When you trick a foe, instead of catching them off guard, you goad them into overextending their next attack. On a successful feint action, you can use the following success and critical success effects instead of any other effects that would occur when you use the feint action. You can choose a different effect each time you feint against a given foe. So, if you feint against a creature and you critically success, the target takes a -2 penalty to all attack rolls against you before the end of its next turn. A regular success is they take -2 penalty to their next attack roll against you before the end of its next turn.
Okay,
So,
I like it.
yeah, it's pretty cool. You basically are faking people out. All right. Lastly, you get a skill feat. There's just so many. There's at least 30 here.
Okay.
I don't know. What are you gonna roll?
I'm gonna roll D100.
All right.
Kind of. We'll go to that section of the list, sort of. And pick
Okay,
one from
yeah.
there.
Give me a D100. That's 20.
21.
All right. Let's
So
see here.
the
1,
first
2,
quarter of the
3,
list.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 21. Express Rider. Trained in nature.
Nice.
That's a prerequisite. You know how to encourage your mount to cover ground quickly. When calculating your travel speed for the day while mounted, you can attempt a nature check to command an animal to increase your mount's travel speed. Faster!
This makes sense that I have a mount to like
To go.
haul
to
my
get
shit
out.
and get out of there.
The
Yeah.
DC is determined by the GM, but is typically based on the mount's level or difficulty of the environment, whichever's harder. On a success, increase your mount's travel speed by half. This has no effect on your mount's movement in encounters.
Cool.
All right, so there we have our level 1 character. He was just so goddamn skillful. Robs Graves and is all around a bad person.
Yeah, and their name is Robert Greaves.
Robert Greaves. Except I'm saving it. We'll share the character sheet on
Yeah,
Patreon.
let us know what you think about Robbie G, a randomly generated grave robbing rogue.
Indeed. Save character on the local file. All right, Robert Greaves, our first Pathfinder character on the episode.
They're a halfling that looks a little bit like Droopy Dog. Has like sunken eyes. Stays up at night, so they're kind of like pale. No sun and stuff like that. They like
dog.
They
Oh
like
my goodness.
fancy footwear. They're into feet stuff.
Is Droopy the dog like that in the fancy feet stuff?
Is Droopy Dog into feet? Is Droopy Dog looking up chicks' feet on Feet Finder and being weird?
Yeah,
you ask me
that's
that?
that's my question.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
It's a cartoon, man. I don't think they go into that.
I don't
It's
know,
for
man.
children.
Sometimes those old cartoons are a little weird.
I think that Robbie G really likes to rob graves, and it's a bonus if they had like an anklet on because he's weird like that.
Okay.
Yeah, or like fancy shoes, like slippers, like glass
Is that
slippers.
the Greaves part of this? Because Greaves are like the lower.
Oh, yeah.
In case you were wondering,
Well, just 'cause I only picked
Bobby
it because it sounded like
Greaves.
graves, and I thought it'd be dumb.
no. Well, I mean, I like the name personally, but Bobby Greaves here has an AC of 17, 14 HP, a +3 Fortitude save, a +9 Reflex save, a +7 Will save, a +7 Perception, and just so many fucking skills. God damn.
A lot of skills.
A lot of skills.
It's
Like there's
easier to
only
name
3
he's
skills.
not trained
Yeah,
in.
he's only not skilled in athletics, performance, and religion. That's it.
Are there any skills that are different from D&D on here? That
Yeah, we could go over that. There's the crafting skill. They instead of persuasion, we're back to diplomacy, like 4th edition, the way it should be.
makes sense.
Yeah. Occultism,
Right. We did cover that.
society, and then thievery instead of sleight of hand.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
Every time we say society, I always think of that Jared Leto tweet. We live in a society.
Oh
He's
yeah,
being a
yeah.
joker.
That's the meme right there. All right, guys. I think that's it. Any questions about character creation, Pathfinder 2nd Edition? Pretty straightforward, right?
That was just as fun as the first time
Cool.
that I did it. I like character creation for Pathfinder. It feels like more direction is being given to you here. Like
Yeah.
and you really can get specific with things in this version of character creation rather than D&D's, which I feel like I would make the same. Like the more D&D characters I made for 5th edition, like the more I found how like I like certain things about the game and how if I wanted to maintain those, it would be the same options over and over again.
Right.
I found myself picking the same options over and over.
Yeah,
again.
that
Here,
happens.
It seems much harder to do that. Especially if you come with a concept before you hit the creator. But I liked randomly generating one. I was happy to.
That was pretty fun.
I don't know who I want to build. Maybe we should cover the classics. Like for the next one, we'll build a barbarian or a fighter, and then we can move to
I
the
was
wizard.
actually thinking maybe we should cover the classes that Pathfinder has that aren't in, like the summoner and the thaumaturge. Like these are like
I see what you mean.
we
'cause-
can do the barbarian and rogue still. It's just the audience is already familiar with those concepts.
Yeah, and we just did one here. So,
Yeah.
for future, we'll cover a unique one to Pathfinder next
Yeah,
time.
and don't worry, we will get to the other ones too. It's just
Sure.
I was thinking we should start with the different ones to show like this is some of the crazy shit you could do, Pathfinder. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, well with that, I think we can get ready for a long rest.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Long
it.
rest. Hey everybody, welcome to the long rest. This is the part of the episode where we're gonna fucking chill out. We're gonna leave the path and chill.
We're getting off the path.
And we're gonna chill. That was fun. I liked that character creation. I honestly like it better in Pathfinder than I did in 5e.
It's more
for the reasons
satisfying.
I
Yeah.
said. But if you guys want to support the show, you have done so. So thank you very much for getting here and listening. We appreciate
Indeed,
that. But if you
indeed.
want to support us further, you can on patreon.com/thedungeoncast, where you can give us money. There's gonna be an announcement that already went out, but not yet. In the future, when this episode airs, yada yada. I think you guys get what I mean. But the Omega thing, I sort of mentioned it when we were talking to Jordan, but Omega is kind of gonna get put on the back burner for a little while. It's not dead. It's just like we need some time and space to make it right. It was made for 5e, and we're not gonna do a 5e campaign for that. So we're gonna do a different project instead that's gonna take the place of that. We're calling it Super Short Saga, where we play a bunch of one-page RPGs, and we're gonna teach you how to play one-page RPGs too, and things that are like good for one-shots or short adventures, like Dungeon Crawl Classics that Will's gonna run.
Well, that's not a one page, but yeah.
It's not a one-page, but
And we're not
things
doing
like that.
only one pages.
Yeah,
either.
we're gonna start with a bunch of one-pagers because they're a lot of fun and they're gonna be fun to record, and then we're gonna make a YouTube series on the side called How to Play Role-Playing Games, how to PRPGs, something like that.
How to RPG.
How to play RPGs. So we're gonna basically put out a tutorial episode and then release a game played in that system. And that's what we're going to spend our time on right now until it feels right to go back to Omega. So we're still going to keep that tier open in Patreon, and there will be early episodes and early content for all that stuff.
Yeah. That being said, that changes some things going forward when it comes to the Super Quest Saga podcast feed, which right now is running Flashbang the Surgeon.
Yeah, I hope you guys like it. Please
Yeah.
leave some feedback.
I've
I
been
would love to
listening.
hear-
I've been enjoying it. I'm halfway through the most recent episode.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's very entertaining.
Yeah, the Sewer King, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So as a lot of you guys know, I have been running a game called Unhallowed, which is a dark fantasy gothic horror game. Started off 5e, now we're moving to Pathfinder. It was originally going to be a premium Patreon show, and it is still going to be very early access to patrons only. That being said, it will probably take the place of the next Super Quest storyline after Flashbang is over. So things have kind of got shaken up a little bit, but we're just moving our energies in different directions, and we're still getting you guys the same amount of content. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I am gonna come back to Omega. Like we want to do it. I think we're just gonna see like how we feel about Wizards of the Coast moving on. Like I've seen some outreach programs going on with them, like interviewing the creators and stuff like that, them getting their say, and like, it's not those people's fault. It never was. Like the creative
Oh
team
yeah,
at Wizards, that wasn't where our negative energy was directed, and I still highly respect those people. So it's their bosses that suck. They're money bosses. They can all fucking, go kick rocks or whatever it is. Anyway, those are the plans moving forward. I think this project is going to be a lot of fun. It's a good opportunity for us to learn a bunch of RPGs too, and really become well versed in tabletop all around. So everybody's really excited. We're gonna have rotating casts, rotating game masters, stuff like that. You get to see like a bunch of different styles, and everybody that is going to be on those projects is, I think, really charismatic and funny and good at roleplay. So definitely something to watch out for. Our timeline for that is pretty strict, so we want to start getting content out very quickly. It'll especially quickly on Patreon, but it will eventually reach YouTube just whenever it's done. But if you want to hear those games, you can go to the Omega tier on Patreon. I think we'll just maybe leave the name there for now, or we'll change it to Super Short Saga. And yeah, that's pretty much primarily going to be a Patreon to YouTube project, where it'll air on Patreon first and it'll make its way to YouTube. So if you're interested in supporting us and seeing those projects, you can go see that. I will post the Omega stuff in there that we had done still. I don't know if we're going to pick up from where we left off and eventually one day, or if we're just going to reboot it and start from the top.
I feel like it'll be a reboot by the time it comes around.
Yeah,
but it's hard to predict.
Me too. Like, because they're going to change the rules of 5th edition anyway. Like, that was a concern going in.
Yeah,
where I
well,
was like,
yeah. And if we ended up going with that, then yeah, we might want to switch it around. Well,
Yeah.
we'll find out. That's in the future. We got a lot of content that's going to come out before that, and a lot of time to plan.
Yeah. So these are long timelines. Flashbang and the Surgeon is going to run for a while. So thank you guys for everybody that is listening to that and supporting. I get that you guys want to wait for the whole session to be released to like actually listen to it, so you can take that time out and like spend that 3 hours or whatever, 4 hours listening to that adventure. Totally get it. So we're just going to continue the staggered release thing. So it
makes it easier on our end to get them out because
totally.
Otherwise there'll just be long delays between them if we don't have a more strict schedule, you know?
Yeah. So FBATS is going to keep doing its thing. There's a lot to go. There's a ton of episodes. So really excited. You can join our Discord and talk about it there. And we are still working on the Super Quest Saga Drakenstar Starseeker's Guide to Drakenstar adventure module.
Yep, we're well on our way. The version 2 of the beta, I think, is coming out next month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have my 3rd full chapter completed this week. Moving on to chapter 5, equipment and weapons. This one's going to be fun.
Yeah, if you guys missed out on the initial Kickstarter campaign to pledge and become part of that and get those benefits, I think we're doing something else.
Yeah, we got a backer kit program going on. The details aren't final yet, but it's going to be an opportunity for anyone who missed out to hop on.
And we've seen people reach out like, fuck, I forgot. Like, I didn't get there in time. What can I do? This is what you can do. If you guys are super interested in this project, if you want to support it, we will have that backer kit going. Like Will said, we're ironing out those details. So as soon as it's up, you'll see news about it, I promise. And then we'll talk about it on the show. So keep an eye out on social media like Twitter. Keep an eye on our website, thedungeoncast.com. And that should be it. Discord will definitely have it. Discord is a great way to interact with not only fans of this show, but hosts of the show. Will and I, we're there. And if you guys are ever interested in like hitting up Jake or Freeland about Super Quest Saga stuff, they're in there too. And then our new team of role players, if you're familiar with Omega and who's on that project because you're on Patreon, that's the same squad that's going to do Super Short Saga. Very confident that it's going to be a great time. I'm very excited. We're going to record our first game, Goblin Punks, a one-page RPG very soon. By the time this is out on the normal feed, that is already done and hopefully up on Patreon. So you guys probably go check that out. I don't want to make like a hard promise, but it should be there. We covered everything. You can we have a PO box if you guys want to send us stuff. We'll read letters on the show. We got some cool ones this last time. Our Dragon Turtle mini is very cool. It's been on display.
Mm-hmm.
We got not only a PO box but a regular email address, thedungeoncast@gmail.com for feedback or whatever.
We have a website too.
Yeah, and we have a website which I also
Dungeoncast.com.
mentioned earlier, but thedungeoncast.com, where you can go see stuff that is there. But anyway, I think that's everything.
All right, and then I think we can call it a game.
Bye.
We'll talk to you guys later.
The Dungeoncast.